Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and may the 4th be with you.
I can't do a good TIE fighter noise.
They're so hard to do.
They are.
Anyway, happy May the 4th, everyone, from us at the Whiskey Watchers.
May
I'm
the 4th
Dan.
be with you. I'm Jake. Hello there.
And, well, Jake, what are we doing today? We got little plastic figures.
We're drinking! Oh, wait. Yeah, no, we're doing that too, but we're going to rank Star Wars movies least favorite to favorite.
Like original trilogy?
All
all of them?
Oh,
Okay.
I usually say 6, but 9.
Well, if we're going to do that, I'm going to need a beverage.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us.
Actually...
Considering we're older, I kind of have a feeling how this is going to go, but, you know, that's just me. Be careful with Marty McFly back there and Robin.
Robin and Marty back there just chilling out, waiting for their day in the sun. Actually, you know what? We're going to drink some Rare Breed.
Rare Breed.
I was recently very disappointed in the ranking.
Yeah.
And I think it was our last video, or, well, soon to be a video.
It was in a
Spoiler alert,
video.
possibly. Anyway, we got Wild Turkey Rare Breed non-chill filter. The old travel exclusive, thanks to, well, someone.
Oh, so I was in Kentucky at the Jim Beam distillery.
Mm-hmm.
They had a Jim Beam 8-year unfiltered single barrel select
Interesting.
at 108 proof. That's the
Gonna
one
need a
that
fat pour of that.
I was totally, I was like, 108? And then I was broke, of course, because you know how that goes.
They also had Jim Beam Lineage while you were there, and if I had caught the text message you sent me, I would have told you to grab it, and I would have sent you that Venmo real quick. I've been looking for a Jim Beam Lineage for
You know
a
how
very
those
long
people
time.
are in those tour buses? They have that guy who walks around, and then they're like, every half hour, like, we got to go. We got a place to be at. You've got a tour you got to get to. And all the frat boys are like, shit, let me get that bottle. That's $300 over there.
It's $250, but you know.
Yeah, after tax.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So anyway, today on the show, we're going to be ranking
1 liter.
1 liters. We're
Yes.
ranking 1 liters. We're going to be ranking our
Pepsi
favorite...
is not number 1.
ranking our favorite Star Wars movies from worst to first. And are we going to do anything else, like favorite...
Brought worst to first.
Because I know you gave me the idea of favorite scenes in each of those.
Yeah, we could do our
trilogies.
favorite scene. So we'll do worst to first, least favorite to favorite,
Then our
best
favorite,
to worst,
then
worst
maybe
to best.
favorite
and then
scenes in
favorite
in
scene,
each
one
of the
per
trilogy.
in each trilogy, yes.
Okay, let's
So
do
you
it.
get your favorite prequel trilogy, your favorite sequel trilogy, and then you get your favorite trilogy, your OG trilogy, your favorite scene.
So before we get into it, though, we want to raise a glass to you all and to George Lucas himself. Thank you for creating Star Wars. We absolutely love you. It was a huge part of mine and Jake's childhood. So,
And we got 2 more people to thank.
oh, we do?
Yeah. You got Dave Filoni and
Jon Favreau.
there you go.
For
for
being-
making my adulthood.
Great again.
Cheers to all 3.
Cheers. Oh, that's so much better.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
Wild Turkey's better at a high proof.
so we got 9 movies to go through.
We do.
So
3 scenes, 9 movies.
3 scenes, 9 movies. So let's go ahead and go through the movies. You want me to start?
Start with your least favorite and we'll work our way forward.
My least favorite is well, I think it might be both of our least favorites, but we're just gonna put it out there. I fucking hate you, Rian Johnson. You destroyed something that could have been good, and for that, The Last Jedi is my least favorite Star Wars movie.
It is
I
my
almost put it underneath a warehouse. I almost put my copy in cement underneath a warehouse. You're welcome.
I didn't, but it is my least favorite. Sorry, man. It did nothing to progress the story, bro. Like, look, it's a shiny gambling planet. And we snuck into the Death Star, or not even the Death Star. We snuck into a ship, and that was it. That's the whole story. I don't remember. I cannot tell you a single. The best scene.
There's a sand planet.
Yeah, well,
Sand-ish, like glass. Is it glass or is it
I
sand?
don't remember. That movie.
It turns
was just,
red. There was a throne room scene. They killed.
That was the best scene in that whole movie. That's the scene I remember the most.
They killed what should have been the bad baddie of
The big
trilogy.
bad of the trilogy, Snoke. Yeah.
And who the fuck is ever going to make Luke Skywalker throw a lightsaber? Like, I understand.
My lightsaber, thank you. Why the fuck do I need this?
I understand. I get it, though. I mean, he was cut off from the Force. Basically, he tried to rebuild the Jedi Order. It failed because of something he did. He blames himself, but he's never going to do that. He's Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker destroyed 2 Death Stars.
Well, he destroyed 1 Death Star.
2 Death Stars. And brought balance to the Force. Kind of.
No, his dad did that.
He brought his dad back to the light.
But his dad.
You're arguing over the prequels. That should be me arguing for the prequels. Here you are defending the prequels.
George Lucas actually said Anakin was the one that brought balance.
Anakin is the chosen one. Of course, he threw Palpatine down a vent shaft after he came back to the light, and Luke brought him to. We sound like Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau. Jesus Christ! If you need a guy, hey man, I'm available for hire. I'll move.
Anyway,
yes, Episode 8 is my least favorite. That is, it's. There was a deleted scene I saw literally today that would have made that movie 10 times better, and it was the scene. Poe walked into a room full of stormtroopers on the elevator, sneaking onto the ship, and one of the stormtroopers recognized him, and he was wearing the officer's uniform. And then he's like, "Congrats, man! I didn't think you were officer material, but here you are." Like, the sheer panic of like, don't. He even said, "Don't do this." And then he's like, "Hey, captain material, all right." And you're like, "Whew, thank God." So yeah, that was the best scene. Was the deleted scene.
When you take your best crap and put it on the cutting room floor.
Because apparently it's too short of a scene. It didn't
Good job,
do
Rian
anything.
Johnson. Anyway.
Or is it Ryan?
Ryan, whatever the fuck it is.
It's an I. That's what throws us off.
You screwed up Star Wars. Congratulations. Anyway, what's your number 8?
Oh, I already said my number. My number 8, my second to least favorite. Look, I'm still on number 8. I'm like, yeah, number 8 is the worst. I know. I just told you that.
I want to flip the table.
9. It should have been 2 movies.
Rise of Skywalker?
Should have been 2 movies.
Okay.
It was a good movie, but again, we brought back Palpatine.
Which, I mean, okay. So I'm just going to go out and say it. We line up here again. I think these first 3 are going to line up for us almost.
Yeah, it's the first 3 because we're older. Now, you ask someone 10 years younger than us, that's probably a whole different series.
Whole different story. But now that The Mandalorian is coming into fruition, they announced the movie, the conclusion of the Mandoverse.
Which is going to be
cool.
so sad because there's going to be no more live action movies.
I know. But
Dave Filoni, I'm looking at you, man. We got you and Jon Favreau. We got to do something.
So at least they're starting to give reasons as to what was going on in the background. Operation Necromancer is a thing. Moff Gideon was creating clones, Force-sensitive clones. Yeah, Tarkin died on the
allegedly.
First Death Star.
He never got to try them. Now there is a theory that wasn't the Grand Moff Tarkin that fought Mando. That was one of his clones.
You mean Moff Gideon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of his clones.
Yeah, there's that theory. So we'll see how that plays out in the 4th season. They're going to pull Palpatine. He's back for the 3rd time.
Speaking of, I don't know where I was going with that. But 7, I'm guessing, is Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's just a very, very irrelevant, in my mind, it's a very, very irrelevant rehashing of A New Hope.
And for me, it's set up a really good trilogy. There's a stormtrooper that was becoming a Jedi. I thought that was going to be the coolest thing ever. I was like, that right there would have been my dude.
Because in Rise of Skywalker, he's like, Rey, I have to tell you something before they sank into the sand. He was going to tell her that he was Force sensitive.
I was going to say he was in love
with her, but because at the end of the movie,
Force sensitive.
He's discovering that he's Force sensitive, and they're just going to let that die.
Yep. And I mean, the fact that Rey pulled off something that took, years of training for most people, throws the lightsaber. Got it.
Yep.
Like,
no training.
Literally not been trained. And here you are like, I'm Palpatine's granddaughter and I don't know it. Come to me. And then lightning.
Yeah. So, I mean, at least Luke.
Sorry, I'm old. If you're young, you can have the new trilogy. Take it, love it, whatever you want to
Actually,
do.
tell you what,
the best thing to come out of those was Rogue One.
If you're randomly young and watching this, one, don't drink until you're 21, kids. And two, let us know how much you enjoyed these sequel movies in the comment section below. And while you're down there, take a second, like, subscribe, and help us grow the channel. Our first goal is 100. At 100 subscribers, we're going to do the Infinity Glen. Thank you, Jake, for the idea.
I'm looking forward to that.
We're going to do the Infinity Glen at 100 subscribers. So help us get there. Like, subscribe, share this with your friends who love Star Wars, who love good whiskey, and help us get there. So
if you can see these ships and tell what they are.
Well, that one is pretty obvious.
No, it's not.
It's fucking obvious. Anyway, so this is where we're going to start to divide up a little bit.
Yeah, we are.
So here we go.
What's your number 6?
My number 6.
Yep. I'm sure I'm going to be
Even
pissed.
though it has one of the most worked on and time-consuming scenes in all of the Star Wars universe. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is my number 6.
Shame on you.
Very, very good pod racer scene. I can't discount the pod racer scene. I can't.
Oh, man.
The pod racer scene took up so many man-hours to get right. Absolute masterpiece. And the Duel of the Fates at the end, very good. But again, wasn't my time.
My time.
His time. So, Jake, what is your
Number 6?
6?
I honestly think Episode 5.
Episode Empire?
Empire.
What?
Yeah.
You have got to. Okay.
No.
Okay. There's
The best thing that happened in Empire was Cloud City.
There's a driveway out there. You and I are about to go tuffle.
That's fine. I've held my own before. It's just, to me, it's so forgettable. Like, literally, the only thing I remember, Lando shows up, Lando Calrissian's there. They go to Cloud City. They had to redo entirety of Cloud City because look at all these blank walls. And then we're gonna freeze Han.
But they got Han to do the okay. I'll save that for when I talk about Empire.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's your number.
It's just that's it. Because
That's your number 6, Empire.
That the few years that we are different. This is where the generational difference comes in. Like it's just there's a fine minute line, and it's like right here. Our feet don't cross this generally unless we're walking to go turn off something or grab something.
True. So my number 5.
See, you've already upset me because you said the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, and you upset me because you said
played it
Empire.
down. I played it down. I could have gone on so long.
But all right, so my number 5, honestly, you might be mad at this. Well, you probably won't be mad at this one. Episode 4, A New Hope.
Curious. Okay.
I think it did a very good job at introducing us to Luke Skywalker, obviously. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Sir Alec Guinness did a great job.
Kenobi.
Well, he'd mentioned I hadn't heard that name in a very long time.
I've not heard that name in a long
time.
So,
our introduction to the big bad baddie of the Star Wars universe, bar none, Darth Vader. Funny story about that. Mark Hamill actually was on set, even though he was off. He was on set the day that they rolled out Vader for the very first time. And
well, yeah, I'd want to see it too.
And he went up to George Lucas and he said, you know, shouldn't you have like a cutaway scene? Because no one knows who this guy is. Shouldn't you have a cutaway scene where 2 like rebel troopers are saying, "Oh, that's Darth Vader. He's the Dark Lord of the Sith. He destroyed all the Jedi, all this stuff." He's like, and George Lucas just calmly looks at him and goes, all white set, guy in black armor. They'll get it.
Yep.
And they did. They really did. Because Darth Vader has been synonymous with Star Wars ever since its inception.
Ever since you heard the breath.
Ever since you heard the breathing and you heard James Earl Jones. Yeah. I won't even...
Find that princess. I want her alive!
So...
Yeah. That's good stuff.
So very good movie. It set up the original trilogy very well.
Set up the Clone Wars.
Luke Skywalker. No.
Episode 4?
Did not set up the Clone Wars. The only mention of the Clone Wars
Exactly. They mentioned it. If he hadn't mentioned it,
was Obi-Wan saying he fought with your father in the Clone Wars.
If he hadn't mentioned
was
it,
a great warrior. Anyway,
the throwing away led to something that was like a throwing away
he
line.
already had it in his mind.
Well, of course he did. He just didn't have the technology.
He didn't have the technology. Anyway, so you're number 5.
See, this is where I start to get really, really difficult because now that's like starting to get into really good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 6.
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, which is probably, well, I know it is. It's already said it's coming out later this month, the 28th through the 4th.
The 28th through the 4th.
In the U.S.
Yep. And we still don't have any showtimes, AMC,
Or Showplace.
in our area.
Even though it says advanced tickets are on sale. Line bastards.
Kansas City, Missouri is the closest one right now for advanced tickets. And I'm not driving to Kansas City
I might.
to go see Star Wars. I'm sorry, but
I'm
not
probably going to buy that 40th anniversary poster, though. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that thing's
Oh,
beautiful.
man, that's good.
I'm not wearing a hat. Oh, well.
Nope, it's too late
I
now.
just realized I'm not wearing a hat, and my hair is long as crap. Anyway, so Return of the Jedi.
It's the worst of the best. It really is. Like, new Death Star, Anakin's back, Palpatine's dead. The speed bike scene in freaking Endor, the Endor fight scene, the Ewoks worshiping C-3PO as a god. Like I said, we're literally getting into the worst of the best right now. This is where it starts because we're getting that halfway point. It's like, where do I put these? But yeah, episode 6, because it was good. I loved it. But not as much as the rest. I don't know. I was missing something. And I loved... My favorite part of episode 6, I think, is the fact that they showed Anakin not in the Vader suit as a Force ghost, but as himself. Old man Anakin, and then later as young Anakin, because that's when he was last a true Jedi in his own skin.
Because they had cast Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, so they went back and...
Hayden Christensen so much. He's on my list. I would.
If he was at Indiana Comic-Con...
I'd have to tape something down.
Anyway.
Or up.
No, number 4 on my list. Oh, God. Number 4 is Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
You bastard. These prequels were my childhood. But yeah, no, I know.
And you're putting my childhood in your middle 3,
welcome.
Sir. So, anyway, begun the Clone Wars has the infamous line Master Yoda utters at the end of the movie, ushering in not only an animated movie, but an animated series where we finally see Anakin Skywalker get his Padawan learner, Ahsoka Tano.
Mm-hmm.
So that
involved...
I'm sorry, but that one line from Master Yoda not only set up, well, I mean, obviously the title was already there, but it confirmed the title, confirmed the war.
No. Begun.
Launched...
It already has.
Launched an entire franchise of not only a movie and a great animated series. We're still
you get attached to non-Force users finally. That's my favorite part of the Clone Wars series.
You get attached to the clones.
Yes, you get these non-Force users who have their own skills, abilities, and character traits, and they show them vulnerable next to these what are gods compared to them, who can just deflect, blast, or walk in like it's nobody's business with a lightsaber, with a freaking laser sword, just go, and just keep going.
So, and let's not forget, it also introduced us to Clone Force 99, the Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch. Even though one of them left.
Yeah, well, good soldiers follow orders.
That's a sad scene, too.
I know. But...
Good soldiers follow orders.
Yeah, my number 4 is Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Amazing movie, great cinematography. The Geonosis scene was amazing. The blaster fire after they shot the starship down. The blaster fire in that cloud of sand. Brilliant. Just for the time, like those effects. Now you look at them now, you're like,
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But back in the day,
Back in 2002, 2003.
2000, I think 4. Phantom Menace
Revenge
came
of the
out in 99.
And then Revenge of the Sith
2007.
5.
7.
Was it 7? Are you sure?
My senior year of high school.
My God.
I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong and he's right, please tell us in the comments section.
We'll know as
'Cause
soon as
I'm
this
u-
video's over because I'm that OCD.
He's going to look it up, but I'm usually wrong with these things. But I'm pretty sure it came out my senior year of high school. Anyway, dating myself. Anyway, so
My number 4.
you're number 4, my friend.
Yes. My number 4, A New Hope.
Okay.
It set up the entire thing, the beginning of everything. And at the time, the graphics that they used and the techniques they used, the fact that George Lucas created an entire sound company, sent them out in the world, and said, I need sounds.
I need sounds. Go find me sounds.
Go find me
sounds.
unique sounds that you think would be set in a space opera. Like, essentially, that's what it was. I mean, there was a lot of very thematic music, a lot of long, drawn-out talking scenes. Well, I can't even say long, drawn-out because I clung to every word just about. I think any true Star Wars fan did.
Yeah.
It introduced the Jedi.
In a weird,
Not the Jedi, the Jedi. Sorry.
in a weird roundabout way.
Yes.
Literally a hermit who was tasked by Master Yoda, really, because he said,
Or perhaps Qui-Gon Jinn.
one of the two. But tasked him with looking over the son of Anakin Skywalker. Didn't even know he was the son of Anakin Skywalker. Well, he didn't know. Obi-Wan knew.
Yeah.
Uncle Ben knew.
Uncle Ben always knew.
Pepperidge Farm also remembered.
Yeah.
Anyway, so going on to number 3. These are the heavy hitters for each of us. Like, these are the 3 that we are most excited about. And my number 3 is actually going to surprise you. You ready for it?
Yeah, let's hear
You ready
it.
for it?
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi.
Really?
Return of the Jedi is my number 3. We finally see the human side of Darth Vader come back. We finally...
Anakin come back.
Well, Anakin reemerges after seeing his son tortured at the hands of the Emperor. I mean, you have Praetorian Guards. You have amazing space battles. The Death Star blows up a Mon Calamari ship, for Christ's sake. I mean...
The speed bike scene.
The speed bike scene was absolutely amazing. I honestly want to say they only did the pod race scene because they knew they could do the speed bike scene.
Well, I mean, they re-released the Phantom Menace in 3D, and I cried thinking of that. I didn't go see it because I was working, or I don't think I was working.
You should have skipped
school.
work.
I was in school.
Should have skipped school.
I know, right?
But
I should have.
But yeah, I mean, it opens on now a more well-refined and better trained Luke Skywalker entering Jabba's palace to retrieve Han Solo.
One Han Solo.
Who looks like the front of a freaking refrigerator. I still want that refrigerator.
Dude, people have made full tables too.
Oh, I know. I've
seen people do it. I've seen people do it with their own face. Like, they'll do everything, but like here, and then they'll go, all right, I need your head.
Yep, I need my head. Need your head, my head, whatever. Anyway, a brilliant... Okay, I'm just going to say it. It's a masterpiece from front to back. Very good movie, and a very, very good way to bring that trilogy to an end. Number 3 for you, sir. While I take a drink here.
Number 3 for me is Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
Because it was good. I think there was a lot less to do. Geonosis was cool. I mean, it introduced the Clone Wars, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You saw all of the Jedi go down from hundreds to about 20-some-odd Jedi.
Not very many of them survived the...
Yeah, no. Even Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau both agreed that the Battle of Geonosis was the biggest mistake Jedi made.
Getting involved there.
Yep. Or sending that many Jedi troops to help. Because
Because
saw what happened.
they had overwhelming force with the clones.
It was literally a mass murder of Jedi.
Yeah. The first of two.
And you saw Jango Fett, so that really introduced Boba Fett too.
Mm-hmm. Even
As
though
a child.
Jango Fett didn't make it out of the movie.
Nope, he didn't. You got to wonder, was that Jango Fett's armor well, it was Jango Fett's armor because he just painted it.
Yep, he just painted it.
And it keeps re-emerging, and Boba Fett keeps coming back.
And I'm not mad about it.
And you see Anakin and Padme finally profess their love for each other. They finally were like, Anakin's like, fuck it.
That is one thing I missed. The love story finally came to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yep.
That's the only reason I want to go to Italy.
To be just stand on that spot where they got married.
Stand on the spot where they got married and be like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Number two
for me
so long
is
episode.
I know it is. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. You finally see the downfall of Anakin Skywalker to what he becomes in the rest of Star Wars lore until Episode 6. Darth Vader, the Dark Lord of the Sith.
Fell because of his attachments.
Because of his attachments. And I have a feeling...
Well, not even his attachments, his fear of his loss of the attachment.
Of the attachment. But I have a feeling that just like, and I just thought of this, I might be the liquor talking here, but Palpatine might have put those visions in his head.
I mean, it's possible. He did link Ben and his own granddaughter via a dyad.
A dyad in the Force. Yeah. So
it's very, very possible.
He might have done that to...
I mean, you got to think about it. If he didn't go and kill it and get his mom's body, if he didn't go and have those thoughts, if he didn't go back and think about all of this and sink on the thought that his mom died and now Padme is going to die because he keeps having these visions, then possible. But I mean, Palpatine's been known to manipulate people like that before. So.
And, the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Yeah. Yep. Somebody translated that all into binary, and that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
That's too much.
But ultimately, the greatest fight scene in Star Wars history happens in that movie.
Yep.
You can't tell me otherwise. We can't debate it. I'll fight you in the parking lot. I'll throw a cinder block at you. It is the greatest lightsaber duel.
I'll be like that other dude on YouTube. I'll cry, "Leave Anakin alone!"
The greatest lightsaber duel in the history of Star Wars between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
Yeah, Obi-Wan and Anakin / Darth Vader.
Yeah. He's still trying to get Anakin to realize what he's doing after he purged the entire Jedi Order.
Yep. And that is still, they deleted a scene out of that movie that would made it 10 times better too.
Yeah. But
the Obi-Wan Padme scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anakin's
the father, isn't he?
I've tried to ignore Padme. For the life of me, I've tried. For your sake and Anakin's.
Yep.
That, oh my God, I would have lost my shit if they put that in.
Yep. And he knew it. He knew it.
Oh, there's no way he didn't. They even said that in the Clone Wars. They proved it. Tell Padme I said
hello.
You know who the fuck? She's pregnant. Of course it's Anakin's kid. Of course Obi-Wan knows.
Yep. But, yeah, the second greatest Star Wars movie in existence, to me...
And me.
Is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Oh, and you?
Yeah, and me. We'll just go ahead and say it. It's
Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
I mean, you put it perfectly. You literally watched the Anakin in his prime all the way through his downfall. And the fact that freaking the final season of the Clone Wars takes place literally at the beginning.
Right before Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
right before he turns to the dark side.
Literally right as they're going to, I've got to go. They're attacking Coruscant. I got to go. That is where it begins. Grievous is attacking Coruscant. Or Dooku, I'm sorry, is attacking Coruscant.
Yep. And Grievous is attacking Coruscant.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Grievous.
But Dooku was there because Anakin beheads him.
Yep.
So
you literally see Anakin kill a Sith and turn to Palpatine and go, double agent much.
But ironically, if you think about it, when Obi-Wan and then Palpatine were trying to leave the cruiser, leave that room, Anakin goes to retrieve Obi-Wan.
And Palpatine
tells him to leave him. And Anakin looks at him and says, his fate will be our own, or his fate will be ours.
Wow.
Obi-Wan dies on the Death Star.
Mhm.
Vader and Palpatine both die on a Death Star.
Yep.
So, boom.
Oh.
Anyway, number one for me is the one that I think shows one of the greatest directing jobs in Star Wars. Irving Kershner was the director of Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire.
The movie in which only two people knew that Vader was going to say, "No, I am your father."
Not no Luke. No, I am your father. There's no Luke. He didn't say Luke
He
once.
didn't say Luke once. He just
For all
said,
of you
"No,
that think he did.
I am your father. Search your feelings. You know it to be true. I am your father."
I mean, even
Little-
though Vader is a German word that literally means father.
Father, yeah. So,
How many Americans spoke German at the time?
not very many.
Exactly.
Anyway, my head as a little kid just went
See, I saw
brain matter all over the walls. Like, my mind was blown. And they finally, the reason I put this as number one, and the reason I didn't like you putting it so low, Irvin Kershner finally got Han Solo to show a human side of himself.
I know. He didn't even
In
show
those-
the full human side
In those two words, Han Solo showed more humanity
than he did any time else.
than he did any other time.
Well,
The sequel movies, possibly.
yeah,
But
episode 7, he sacrificed himself
but
for his
still,
child.
still, we don't talk about those. Those don't exist.
Mm.
Anyway, those two words, I love you. I know.
You still see him on everything
Yeah, he's
as
still
a couples
everywhere.
thing.
But the Battle of Hoth, masterfully done.
Hoth was really good.
Hoth was very good, especially because it wasn't done digitally.
Nope.
There were some digital aspects of it, but a lot of the models,
Gotta
the
find those
AT-ATs,
These specialized editions.
yeah, the AT-ATs were all, models. Very good work. They introduced Master Yoda for the first time. The hermit who exiled himself
insane
to
hermit?
the force-sensitive planet of Dagobah, who began to train Luke Skywalker.
Who created a quote that most people follow?
Do
or do not.
do or do not. There is no try.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest Star Wars movie ever. Cloud City was an amazing scene. Do you know why he was able to stop those blaster bolts? By the way,
Who?
Vader.
Oh.
It's not
Force.
because of the Force. His armor is made of Durasteel.
Well,
And because, robotic hand.
yeah. It's not like he's going to be sitting there going, ow. All right.
Yeah.
Metal.
So, yeah, Durasteel. Because there were sparks of it impacting his hand.
Gotta imagine the reflexes, though. The force reflexes, well,
Yeah.
no thanks.
But, I have altered the deal. Pray I do not alter it further.
Mm.
No disintegrations.
And then in the originals, Boba Fett spoke in that movie.
He did. When he walked up to all the bounty hunters on his Star Destroyer, looked at Boba Fett and said, "No disintegrations." I didn't think about it at the time, and I learned about it later. Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, that rifle, the disintegration rifle, he didn't let Boba Fett
carried that.
Boba Fett carried that. He didn't let Boba Fett use that rifle because he wanted Han Solo.
Yep.
He wanted the Millennium Falcon.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the Millennium Falcon. That thing did the freaking Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Even though parsecs is a unit of distance. Anyway, you're number one. We all know it.
Yeah, you do. If you haven't, I've spewed it a million times. I always say this is my favorite, and it's the Phantom Menace. The introduction of, again, like you said with episode 4, we don't have to say he's bad. Look at him.
Mm-hmm.
The red and black face tattoos, the horns, Ray Park doing his thing, jumping around. They didn't even use his voice, just like Vader. They had someone else come in and do the whispery voice for Master Maul. And they just had Ray Park doing his stunts, his own stunts, because, I mean, he is a master of Taekwondo. And the dude, he still pulls the duelist. Have you ever... I've seen videos of him at Comic Cons. He was still, if somebody has
He
a
still pulls the
Maul
moves.
lightsaber, he will fucking grab it and just start twirling.
Yep, he does it.
He's still got it, and I would love to see him keep coming back to different characters.
Yeah. And the pod race scene.
And the pod race scene. God, the pod racing scene. And the Duel of the Fates. Getting a little antsy over here.
You're going to need to put that away
No,
before
I'm
you step
sorry.
out from around the counter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Best movie.
Best.
Not even Star Wars movie.
So, very quickly, because, I mean, holy shit. This is a long one. Very quickly, let's go to our favorite scenes in each of the three trilogies.
You want to start with the sequels first, since that'll be pretty
okay,
easy.
yeah, we'll start with the sequels first. My favorite sequel scene is in Force Awakens. They're on Starkiller Base. They're trying to infiltrate Starkiller Base, and they're all talking to Finn about where to go, how to get there, and Finn just looks at Han Solo and goes, "We'll use the Force." Han Solo has the greatest fucking line.
That's not how the Force works, kid.
That's not how the Force works. Sorry, but, that to me is the greatest scene in the freaking sequel trilogy.
Even though they've shown that's exactly how the Force works.
Kind of. But.
Hey, the Force-sensitive guy's probably there. Look for him.
So what do you got?
My favorite scene from the sequel trilogy is the Praetorian Guard fight scene, where Rey and then Kylo Ren, technically still, come together just to fight off the Praetorian Guard.
After killing the bad baddie.
Yeah, after killing the big bad. And the Praetorian Guard come out like, oh, no, you did not. And that, like, the spin-offs that people have done with different music is just gold.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you that.
Yeah. But that is the most memorable scene to me in all of the sequel trilogy, is that Praetorian Guard fight scene. 4 or 6 freaking Praetorian Guards take on 2 fully trained. One of them was.
One of them more or less fully trained, and the other one had just learned that she could
I
hold
got the Force
lightsaber.
through magic. I know how to do things because I'm
magic.
the main character.
Anyway.
Yes.
So, what's your favorite scene in the original trilogy?
The original trilogy? Oh, God. My favorite scene in the original trilogy is nothing except for a throwaway line.
Okay.
Obi-Wan. And then you can see him you can see him just fade out, and you can see the PTSD just take over. Obi-Wan. Now that's a name I've not heard in a long, long time. And you can just, that everything in him is just like, ow. You can see it on his face. Alec Guinness did the best job in that scene, because there is nothing there other than him creating a fantasy in his head and then throwing it out.
And then throwing it out there. Yep.
To me, there's an edit a dude did on YouTube. If I can find it, I'll have our guy put it in the description. This guy did a scene of the PTSD as he's saying this, and it is the best scene. They should remake that and show these scenes in that.
We'll figure it out.
I'll show it to you. I've shown it to you. Yeah, I've shown it to you before.
So, my favorite scene
Yours.
in the original
Yes.
trilogy, I have 2 of them, actually. One's a very quick little snippet, so I'll just say that one. Obi-Wan, then Ben Kenobi, gives Luke his father's lightsaber. Said, this is the weapon of a Jedi Master. What the fuck does Luke do?
He looks at it like a guy looks down a gun for the first time. Really?
Whoa.
Is it loaded?
I'll be darned. So, nothing but comedy gold there. I'm sorry. Just what if he accidentally flipped the switch and, well, roll credits. It's done.
Robert Wyde.
Yeah. So, my actual favorite scene in the original trilogy is the unmasking of Anakin Skywalker at the end of Return of the Jedi. Because if you go back and you look at other movies, or other actually series, thanks to Disney Plus, Obi-Wan was able to take the right side of the helmet. Ahsoka was able to take the left side of the helmet.
Luke took the whole thing.
But Luke, his son, took the whole thing. And brought him back to the light as Anakin Skywalker, and was able to stare at his father's face for the last time as he died.
Yeah. And then he got that helmet later because Ben ended up with it.
Yeah, Ben ended up with the helmet. But that was probably the best scene in the entire original trilogy.
The OGT.
Yep. So now we go to the prequels. Jake, go ahead.
This is the hardest thing. I'm going to let you go ahead because this is the hardest thing for me.
Okay.
Like these three, there's
Okay.
all
fine.
of my favorite scenes are from these three movies. I'm
going to keep it brief then. The Mustafar duel scene was absolutely amazing, but it's what happened afterwards that really got to me. After going back and looking and slowing down and really listening as Anakin is being put into the Vader armor and the final piece of the armor is being put on him, the
helmet.
The helmet. Well, the top piece of the helmet, not the mask.
Well, I mean, it even in that, like, it stops like right here.
Yeah. But as it's being sealed, you can just hear him saying, "Save me, Padme." The last inkling of humanity came out of him in that moment.
Yep.
Until we saw him again unmasked by his son in episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I'm all for the humanity of Vader. Like, I love that story. I fuck it, I'll just say it. I get off to that story.
I mean...
That even though the most feared man, so even though he was the most feared man in the universe, he still had that humanity behind him. So your favorite scene from the prequels, and then we'll get out of here.
Ugh. I could pick between two. You've mentioned one of them. Well, we've mentioned them both. The pod racing scene and the Duel of the Fates. The pod racing scene was just masterful, but I think Duel of the Fates, the fact that technically the dark side won the Duel of the Fates because Anakin did not get the father figure he needed. Instead, he got a brother who was kind of like, meh. Yeah. We got another miserable life form, didn't we? Thinking he literally compared him to Jar Jar Binks.
Basically, yeah.
Well, he used the exact same term for Jar Jar Binks. It's just another useless life form, Master. We should get out. Why do I have a feeling we picked up another useless life form? Literally, hand to hand compared him.
Yeah.
And that scene, just on Naboo with Qui-Gon going, Obi-Wan taking over. Yeah.
Did it for
Gold.
you.
Oh, yeah.
So, it was a bit of a long one, but we finally got through it. We got through the entire trilogy, the entire series, favorite scenes in those trilogies, and drank some really good whiskey, too.
All three trilogies. We can't say the entire series. There's 2 movies we left out.
So, yeah. But, we'll talk about those later.
Another time.
But until next time, until we drink again, we want to thank you for joining us. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And instead of our normal outro, I'm just going to say this. We love you all, and may the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.